The Buds versus the Bose. Which one should you decide on? Let's talk about this. You're now rocking with Wakaba. Let's go. Alright, so at this point, if you've been following me on social media or if you've been actually looking at some of my past videos, I've actually picked up both of these and I've had ample time to use both of these. And so I actually want to kind of get into the nitty-gritty about the differences between the two, which one would actually benefit you a little bit more. So we're going to talk about things from the build quality to the functionality, to software, to comfort, to price. Which one is really best? Because these are both Google-enabled devices, so I really picked these two to battle. So let's go ahead and start with the build quality. Overall, the build quality of the Bose, I feel like this is done really well. As you can tell from my previous video that I put together here, that the ear cups feel really nice. Like once you put them on, it's just comfort. And after time, you don't really feel any strain or anything like that. You have the padded top, you have the actual padded cups down here, the leather feel, really nice and soft. But then when it comes to the earbuds, here's the thing. They're all plastic, hard plastic. And after a period of time, and I know I initially said my first impressions, well, in the first impression video, I did actually say that it was kind of awkward, and then maybe about 24 hours later, I posted a statement on Google Plus that, okay, they felt comfortable, but I wasn't wearing it for a really long time. And I noticed I actually wore it for a really long time at work the other day, and I actually have this kind of a pain sensation, or I don't know if you would call it stress, or because it's just putting a lot of stress on your cartilage in your ear, like when you have it in for a really long period of time. And comfort is one of my, I want to say, deal breakers for keeping buds, because I think Google really could have went with like a rubber tip or a silicone tip that you can fit in your ear, and I think that would actually seal it off more, so that you would actually probably get more of a solid bass effect. But ultimately, I still do really like the functionality between these, but the build quality, I think Google dropped the ball on that, because you have to really, it's supposed to be, it made it to be one size fits all, but you have that little loop that pushes against your cartilage. And once again, like I said, my ear canals are really small compared to how this thing is designed, so they just don't really fit in that well. If it fits in your ears well, then that's going to have to something you're going to have to actually try to really see if it does fit or not. But I think they could have had a better fitting design than that. Also, let's talk about the actual presentation. The Bose actually come in a pretty much premium leather case. Like they come in a case that's pretty much you slip them in, you unzip it. It has a pocket that you can stick your 3.5 millimeter cord in or whatever for your headphone jacks. If you want to jack into, any computer or MP3 player or cell phone, for those who still have cell phones that have 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks. But it's a pretty hard shell case. You can pretty much drop this thing and it'll take some impact. But then of course the Google Buds, they come in this rubber hard shell case. And I believe this thing can take some impact. But some drawbacks, I believe, with the actual case is that, number one, it's magnetized. So after a while, magnets actually do wear out. So how is this thing gonna hold like 3 years from now? I don't know. Because I know after you keep opening and shutting this thing, and you're gonna be doing that pretty often because these things hold like 4 hours of charge, but that's if you're listening to music straight. But I will say the battery life on this thing is actually pretty good. When I did wear them at work, since I was using them kind of off and on, it kind of lasted me from about like 2 in the afternoon till about 2 at night before I even had to put these things back on the charger. And that's, when I say on the charger, I mean back in the box. Because in the box, here's the thing with sticking these in here. This is another tedious thing with these. For these, you can go ahead and just tuck these in, you know, you just kind of fold them over and you stick these back in the package that they came in. But for these, you have to be really precise. You have to take your earbuds, stick them in at a certain angle, and it is magnetized in there, so that kind of helps. I've kind of gotten used to it off of muscle memory, but this is going to be a challenge for a lot of people. So you have to stick the buds in there correctly, and then wind the cable all the way around, and then stick the tail up the middle. And that can be frustrating for some people, just having to go through that, because if you're going to rush to do something, that takes a little bit of time. And sometimes when you stick the tail up, the middle, you have a hard time trying to close this thing and it won't stay shut. If it doesn't shut, then these things may not charge. So this is a little bit more complex. And I think this is Google's first gen set of buds. And some, you know, they just have a little bit of work to do, and I believe they can iron out some of these things in the next gen. So pretty much now let's talk about pairing. Like, as far as how would you pair these things, I will say my experience pairing this thing this is a breeze so far. But I have heard there have been some issues. As you see in my first video, when I actually paired these things up, I just didn't know they just needed to be charged. I just had to charge these things for like 10 minutes, and as soon as you take them out, your Google Pixel immediately recognizes them. But if you're using a phone, I think all you have to have is like Android 4 or Android 5 to be able to use these. I'll have that annotated specifically which Android version you need. But as soon as you take these out, if you have a Google Pixel 2 XL, I think even the first Google Pixel as well, the phone will automatically pick them up. You'll see a banner at the top that says, Google Buds, would you like to pair? Press pair. And then if you haven't seen my first video, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, it was pretty simple, straight to it. And then it was also really simple with these too. As soon as I powered these on, because you have a button that you can use to sync up or really pair. It's the same button as a power button. You slide the power button over, and then it starts searching. And as long as your phone's Bluetooth is on, it'll pair. And from what I understand, these actually pair very similar, because they both pair up using the Google Assistant. And as far as software goes, when you go to your Bluetooth menu, you will see the battery life, and it'll show you the percentage of how much battery life you have left at any point in time that you want to check these out. I honestly have not checked to see if they had the same feature or functionality with these, but I would assume the same. But overall, the software experience, let's get into Google Assistant. Google Assistant works identical on both of these. However, they do vary based on the fact that with the Google Buds, the Pixel Buds, you have the option to swipe, and you're actually going to swipe forward to increase the volume, swipe back to decrease the volume. You're going to press and hold the button in anytime you need to speak to the assistant or ask the assistant anything, or you can double tap and the assistant will give you your heads up notifications, or give you the time and breakdown of any immediate notifications that have just hit. So it's almost a similar experience with this, except everything is hard buttoned except for one thing, the Google Assistant button. The Google Assistant button, when you hit that and you hold it in, just like you would, you'd press and hold it down on this. That allows you to speak to the assistant, and then you just tap the button once, and then the assistant will read off any notifications. But however, there is no option to switch tracks, I don't think, on either one of these. So you have to hold down if you're listening to music, you have to hold down the assistant button or press and hold the right bud, and say next track, and then it'll go to the next track. These also have a feature called Find My Buds. I haven't actually tried to set these up on these. It says Find My Buds, but I would assume it will work with these two. You can just go ahead and hit Find My Buds, and it's supposed to somehow locate your buds. But yeah, I'm gonna actually look into that, see how well that works. Surprisingly, there is no location assist with this. If you lose these, you lose these. Now, as far as audio quality is concerned, as I mentioned in my review on these, audio quality is superb. As far as bass, I know what's one of the number one things a lot of people, I guess my age, look for, maybe my age, a little younger, is the bass. And honestly, the bass isn't muddy. It's more of tight bass. Thanks to James Wellborn at work for the heads up on like words that you would use to describe a type of bass. It's more like punchy, but it's not like muddy. Like you just hear a lot of but the bass, it has bass, it hits, it sounds really good, and honestly, it's really balanced with your mids and your highs, and you get a lot of clarity with this. Music on this is actually pretty good. It's better than most of the reviewers will tell you. I'm no audiophile, but they just make it seem like the audio quality is trash on this. Really, you do have a little bit of ambient noise, and in some cases, you turn it up loud, it does get really loud to the point where if somebody's talking next to you, you're probably not going to hear them. But supposedly these don't really have noise cancellation, and that was not the focus, because these are supposed to be more oriented toward active people who are mobile, things of that nature. And for that, these actually get a win in that category, just because I would prefer, if these fit better in my ear, I would actually prefer to use these over these, just because of the fact that they're less inconspicuous than just walking around with a pair of headphones on all the time. Just love the fact that if these fit, I would just be rocking these all the time. But unfortunately, like I said, they just don't fit that well. So as far as audio quality, the Bose get the win all day long. And as far as battery life, the difference between the two, with it, they both support some type of quick charge. The quick charge with the Bose, after charging it for 15 minutes, you do get 2.5 hours of battery life. Whereas you charge it for 10 minutes, you get 1 hour of battery life with this. So you get a little bit more of a boost with the battery life on this, and then also the actual expected battery life on a full charge would be 20 hours over Bluetooth, and 40 hours if you happen to use the 3.5mm cord that comes with it, and you can just jack in, listen to music. 40 hours, more than a day. But tops, with this thing, you can charge this thing, I believe 4 times, so you can get up to 20 hours. You get like 4 to 5 hours of use for each charge. So ultimately, battery life is really good. I don't have anything to complain about with either or. But overall, the experience of just having these, what would I say is best? Ultimately, for me, just based on comfort, I like this just because it's comfortable. But I would be honest with you, I'm only gonna use this at certain times. I can use it for my workouts just as long as I'm not like on a bench press or a decline or something and these start to slip. But these are definitely more universal, but they just don't fit that well. So I'll probably honestly gonna be looking for different buds, just because they just don't fit. And I really like these. I really like the functionality. I like the way that they work. They work really well. I don't have any issues with software, no bugs or anything like that. Either of these, are they actually sweat proof? I will have that annotated down below if it is sweat proof or waterproof, whatever. But yeah, overall, these are both great, but these are kind of iffy just based on the way that they fit. And so that's something that you're just gonna have to check out and decide for yourself. But ultimately, as far as also different devices, here's the last thing, functionality. What devices do they support? The Pixel Buds, they support up to 8 devices. And honestly, I will have this annotated below as well as how many devices these support. But the actual functionality of being able to switch among different devices, this is really easy. All you would have to do is switch over the pairing button on this, and you'll be able to pick up a different device. But for these, it's a little bit more tough. You just kind of have to open up the clamshell, hold down the power button. Well, I guess it's a power, whatever you want to call it. There's a sync button. You're going to hold that down, and as soon as the white light is flashing, then it's in pairing mode and it's searching for something else. And then that's how you would pair this. But then it's kind of tedious because I've lost connection with one of my devices and I had to redo it all over again and forget it. So this can be a little pain with that. This can be a little bit more pain. This is an ease of use device right here. These Bose headphones, the pairing is seamless. So ultimately, the prices on these, the Bose are $349 US, and the Pixel Buds are $160 US, so $159. But take your pick on that. It's really, for me, it's really a toss-up. I would be using these all day long if they fit better, but these are really comfortable when I do wear them. It's just that if you're mobile in certain situations, you don't always want to be wearing headphones on. Like, I could be at a wedding probably rocking these, but I'm not gonna be at a wedding rocking these. It all really ties to what situation you're gonna be in. But these have really made a believer in me in buds. But I'm just probably not gonna be rocking with these buds. Sorry. But stay tuned for more videos. We'll have a Pixel XL 2 review coming, and I will have the iPhone 10 review coming really soon. I know that's delayed, but my schedule's been really backed up. But I appreciate everybody for watching and rocking with Wakama. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.